Hello. So I am going to be talking about and reflecting on my understandings of the importance of including non-Western European content into my practice. Um, Before I do that reflection, I want to emphasize that before this course and before this class, I never really understood or even considered that this was a problem in our education. Um, I never understood the implications that these viewpoints can have. So, I guess in our course, we were given different materials and resources and readings to broaden our perspective. And I think that is exactly what it did, um, especially when reading the article Beyond Post Colonialism. And I think that was the first article or resource that really opened my eyes to this issue. It talked about the non Western European content within science and how that is viewed kind of as the proper way of science because society accepts it. Society um, thinks that this is the universal way because it is a mathematical formalization and it is verified. So, um, any other ways of thinking about science is usually discredited. And a lot of our students believe that because that is what we are told. I grew up in a very Western way of thinking. My science classes were very um, Western viewed. And I think as I go through this program, a lot of my opinions and viewpoints can be changing, especially when I do my own extension of research. And I did that in this exactly when I found the video Two Eyed Seeing. So in this video, they talk about how we need to have two eyes when viewing science, essentially. We need to recognize that there is a different way of looking at the world. And more specifically, there's two ways. There's the Western scientific way, and then there's the Indigenous or Aboriginal people's way. And, seeing them in two different ways doesn't always help the situation, but rather than putting them together and accepting them as a whole, essentially. So, as a teacher, it's important to have both viewpoints and give the students the option of which do they want to learn about. Obviously, giving them the Western and Indigenous or non-Western um, science, but I think that we are so focused on this one path and this one viewpoint that it takes away from the perspective the students choosing and having a say in what they believe in. So yes, there is some accuracy to the Western viewpoint because it is backed by science, but that shouldn't be discrediting any other opinion or belief within science. Um, I just think we need to give students a choice and give them the resources to extend their own knowledge. In my practicum, I had to teach a science class, and it was in May. It was during Métis week, so I thought, you know what? Why don't I do some research on the subject and see what I can find? Obviously, I didn't grow up with having great resources to different perspectives when it came to science, so my knowledge is very limited. Um, I started off the class saying, my knowledge is what I have found. It might not be correct. So if you have a proper way to correct me, please do. Feel free to share. And creating that environment where students feel okay to express their opinion allowed for a great conversation within the class. I also think it's important to bring in resources like elders or people within the community to share. And then you can have that exploration and contradiction and really play with the idea of what students want to believe. So I guess my opinion on this is continuing to grow and it will change over time. And hopefully, I'll continue to learn. So thank you.